Hi, a very good afternoon, everyone. I
Good
believe
afternoon,
my
sir.
voice is audible to all the participants. I welcome all the participants, those who are present here, and I welcome the faculty members as well, Dr. Jaykumar Jain,
Yes, sir.
Dr. Sani. I hope everybody is good, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Fine, sir. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. What about you, sir?
Good, sir. Good. Everything is fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I welcome all the participants, those who have joined us on YouTube channel live. I believe my voice is audible to everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. So yesterday we all had some great discussions on identification of telecom data and some hidden secrets about how telecom data is actually identified by telecom users and how the data is distributed worldwide. So the data is very potential data and it is very valuable as it can be used for various purposes like marketing, advertisements, improvement of the services, and many more. So, being a data scientist or analyst, it is our objective to identify the critical insights from the data, and using these critical insights, it would be best for us to share those insights with the value which we have generated through that critical insights or through the information. We can share that information to the appropriate users so that knowledge can be utilized and solutions to various problems can be provided. So we will be having our discussion. Okay, so I believe the participants have connected. A couple of more participants would be connecting in. So by the time those of you who have connected, let us just get started with our data IKU platform. Today we will be practically implementing machine learning, and you will go through with all the four stages, that how we identify the facts from the data, how do we identify the reasons what has happened in the data. Using those reasons, we try to make predictions of the future with various different algorithms. You will experience how many algorithms are available and what are the most common algorithms which we all can use as far as machine learning is concerned. Using that information, then what we will be able to do, we will be able to make applications and models which can be pretty helpful for the users, and we can make use of those solutions in order to provide various appropriate solutions to different users worldwide. Okay, so guys, that's all we will be doing in today's session, and I totally believe my voice is appropriately audible to everyone. Okay, so I'm getting a number of participants. A very warm welcome, everyone. So I can see a couple of names here: Manali Yadav, Chandrakant Vishwakarma, Shobit Khatri, Priya Singh, Deepika Pathak, Remy Jain, Sahil, Siddharth Dubey, Soumya Jain, Priyanshu Chauhan, Snehal Hussain. Very warm welcome, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so let's see. We'll quickly proceed with the objectives of the day. So as you all know, you all have been asked to create an account on Data IKU. I believe everyone has got their accounts on Data IKU, and using those Data IKU accounts, we will be implementing our machine learning concepts today, as well as we will be having some quick experience with Python programming also, and we will be using Python programming, the basics of Python programming, in order to quickly read the data, process the data, identify some valuable information out of it. So all that thing we will be doing it today. Okay, so I believe everybody is ready. And again, a very good afternoon, everyone. So let's go for it. I'm sharing my screen with all of you, and let's get started with the concepts. Here, so you all have to start with Data Science Studio today. When it comes to Data Science Studio, you all have to go to the website dataiku.com, get your account. You can get a free hosted trial, that will be available for 2 weeks, and there is a free forever option available also, which you can download and use that virtual machine with VMware softwares. Okay, so we'll be having that stuff. Now let's see what next you will be doing it. So once you guys have got this account on Dataiku, over your Gmail, you will be receiving your ID and password. Those of you who may not have the account can utilize my account. Okay, but I would really appreciate if you have your own personal accounts, because that will be very helpful for all of you to create your own projects, and then you will be able to submit different types of analysis and projects at your college. Okay, so our today's session is going to be a UI driven session, as well as it is going to be a program oriented session. We will be discussing in both the dimensions, so that it will be easy for everyone to understand how non-programmers can use data science and machine learning, and how programmers can use data science and machine learning. So the steps will be same, and we will be implementing it both ways, the programming way as well as the non-programmers way. Or you can also say non-programmer way is generally used in the industry because it saves a lot of time. You don't need to write the scripts again and again. Once you have understood the concept of how the scripts are working, then you can make use of an automated tool to perform machine learning. And whenever there is a requirement for modification, you can modify that particular piece of the code and can produce it for testing and finally for the production. So let's go for it. So once we reach to Dataiku, this is your all-in-one end-to-end data science platform. Using the ID and password, we are going to quickly log into DSS. So once I click on login, we will land up into the data science studio. Okay. Now, before I proceed further, I would like to tell you all what will you be doing in data science studio today. Okay. So I have already shared some documents of Python with you, and using that, we will be implementing those benchmarks today. And again, I'm sharing that with all the participants, those who are currently connected with me on YouTube. Here you have the article. So you can open the article, and using this article, we will be practically implementing our machine learning part today. Okay. So here, let me just quickly open that document for you, just to make you understand what all we will be doing in Dataiku. So we will be implementing machine learning. That is one of the most important root of artificial intelligence. We will be doing these 4 parts with Dataiku today, in which, given the data of telecom, you will be actually identifying what has happened in the data, why did it happen, which means the reasons, what will happen in future. So using the algorithms, you are going to identify the algorithm which can actually predict the future for you, depending on the events which are happening, and finally working on the optimal solution. So these will be the 4 things which we will be doing. So working on an optimal solution would be something like that you will be testing like some algorithms, and whichever algorithm is the best, and whichever algorithm is the best algorithm, we will be using that best algorithm in order to integrate that with a web application or a mobile application, so as to make a complete product. Okay, so that is what we will be doing in our today's session. And the strategy which we will be following in order to implement this will be the strategy: either you can use knowledge discovery process, where selection, pre-processing, transformation, mining, interpretation, and evaluation will be done, as well as you can also make use of this process of cross-industrial standard process for data mining, where you will be performing business understanding, data preparation, modeling, evaluation, and deployment. So as you all know, yesterday we have already covered about business understanding problems, where I have practically shown you that with the certificates installed on your mobile phone, every data which is flowing out of a mobile phone can be handled by the telecom providers. Okay, and they store information like equipment identification register, home location register, and there are various other registers in which they store multiple information, as well as the applications also store different kinds of information. So after performing machine learning algorithms on those kind of data, we can actually model the data, evaluate the insights out of it, and deploy it for production purposes. Okay, so we will be using this. So let's go for it. And how we will be implementing machine learning, we are going to have an example. Now, uh, there is one more thing. Where is the data which we will be using? So I would like to share, we are using certain data sets from Telecom, which I have actually taken from the talking data mobile user demographics. This is the direct link for the data set which we will be using. Okay, so here I'm just sharing the link for the data set. You all can quickly download the data set on your machines. We will be using this data set. Okay. Okay, Abhishek Kumar is wishing me good morning. Good morning, Abhishek. Okay. Okay, now let's see. So here, I believe the data set has been provided to the participants. Now, so we will be using Data Science Studio, and the data set has been provided. And over the data set, we will be implementing these stages of knowledge discovery process. So from the data, we will be extracting the knowledge, and we will go through with all these 6 stages using Dataiku as well as Python programming. Okay, Python is very simple, and using Python, you will be able to read the files, process the files appropriately. Then you will be able to mine the information from them, and you will be able to interpret and evaluate the responses with the graphs, and finally you can extract the knowledge. Okay, so all that we will be doing it. So now here, let's see how easy it is to implement all this stuff. So one data set which I have provided you, it actually contains some information. Now what kind of information is contained? Let me just quickly show you from where the data set has been taken and what information does it contain. So Kaggle is a website where a lot of data sets and scripts applied over the data sets are available. And here from Kaggle, I have used this data set of talking data. So there are two types of data sets available on Kaggle. One is an ad tracking fraud detection challenge which was conducted, and second one is talking data mobile user demographics. We are using this sample data set just in order to make you understand what all information is available in a telecom data set and how it has to be processed. This data will actually belong to the China users at the moment, but if you will work, let's say with Reliance Communications, they will be having all the telecom users data who are using Geo network and the Reliance based network. Then you will be provided with the same data set attributes for Indian users, and you can actually make applications for the Indian users, and you can identify insights about them. Okay, let's see. So I will be using this talking data mobile users, and let us just quickly have a quick understanding of what this data contains. So this was a competition organized a couple of years back in which Talking Data has released their dataset information to Kaggle.com so that data scientists can provide different types of algorithms which can actually help them in overcoming the problems of fraud detection, appropriate advertisement tracking, and identification of user behavior. Okay, so this is one of the finest data set which you can use, and there are a lot of notebooks also available here which you can use further for reference of application of different activities which you can perform on the data. But we will go a different way. Okay, we'll try to identify how we can make this analysis useful as a product which can give us money back, or else we can make it useful, let's say, for a company with which we may be working in future. Okay, now let's see. So here you can see that the information which they have provided is uh, so here I would like to quickly define the most important part for which this data set will be used is, let's just quickly go through with the description of the data first so that it will be clear to all the participants. Now it says, nothing is more comforting than being greeted by your favorite drink just as you walk through the door of the corner of a cafe. So he just want to say, as soon as you reach out to the corner, and if corner of a cafe, and as soon as you get your most favorite drink, it is going to be awesome. It is going to be an awesome experience for a user. So now here how it happens is, different brands, what they want to do, they want to personalize your experience with their brand space or else with the digital space. So today every company, let's say if you watch Netflix, if you watch Hotstar, if you watch any other application or any other series, so every application is trying to provide you a personalized experience today, depending on your choices, depending on the similarity metrics that depending on your profile, there may be other users and their choices. So if you match with someone, your preferences and choices can be personalized in order to provide you access to the right data. Okay. So in order for that motivation, Talking Data, which is China's largest third-party mobile data platform, that understands everyday choices and behaviors of all the people who are working there. Okay, so they identify that information, as well as Talking Data is seeking to leverage behavioral data for more than 70% of the 500 million mobile devices active daily in China, to help its clients better understand and interact with their audiences. So now you can see that what Talking Data is trying to do, they have provided this data set so that people can apply data science algorithms in order to identify the user behavior from the data set available. And after identification of this user behavior, clients of Talking Data, which means the marketers, the advertisers, will be able to better understand the customers, the region specific customers, the geolocation based customers, as well as the customers of different categories can be quickly identified, and then they can build their strategies in order to maximize their revenue and maximize the sales of their products, okay, and other similar activities. So now here, as the graph quickly represents you here, out of the data, what will be identified? Different kinds of people are being identified, like the child, the teenager, an adult, a super adult, like, and then finally an old man. So you can see that there are different types of categories which may be identified. So here is a picture representation of categorization of different types of people out of the data. Okay, but we will be doing a lot more depending on whatever data is available with us. So in this competition, what Kagglers have done, they have been building a model which will be predicting the user's demographics, okay, depending on their application usage, geolocations, and mobile device properties. So depending on these three input variables, and there will be more input variables. So using those input variables, what will be predicted? Prediction of users' demographics will be predicted. Okay. So this will help millions of developers and brand advertisers around the world to pursue data-driven marketing, which are relevant to their users as well as depending on the preferences of the users. So that is what something was required. Okay. I hope this is clear to all the participants that we are making use of a Talking Data. Talking Data is a company, and we are taking the data set from that company. That company is a similar data processing and data providing company, which provides critical insights to the advertisers and to the developers, so that user specific and user preferences based applications can be developed for the China users. And similar product we can actually build up for Indian market also. So as you all know, there is a very nice startup opportunity in this particular sector as well, because different telecom companies are actually hiring data analysts to perform this analysis for them and build up new products, and ad specific targeting audience can be generated. Apart from that, uh, proposals can be submitted to Smart India Hackathon as well, where you can actually propose a great analysis on Talking Data, as well as you can provide various aspects to Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, and depending on various solutions, like how the telecom users can be identified by the telecom company, and what all information can be processed and what all information can be penetrated. So you can also make a security kind of product which can be used by TRI to make a filter on the companies that what all information they are trying to use. and all that stuff can be done. Okay, so both ways you can make products for the benefits of the companies as well as for the benefits of the government in order to finally provide the solutions to the users. So that can be done. Now with this particular data, where is the data available? So here at the very top there is a column, data column, where you can have, these will be different data set files. Okay, now here yeah, so here at the left hand side you can see you have different types of data sets which are available. So there are certain events of the application, application labels, gender, age, okay, label categories, phone brand, devices, and certain sample submissions. So there are a couple of different types of data sets available, and the overall size, overall there are 8 files. So you can also make an account on Kaggle and you can download it. But I have already provided the data to all the participants and I have uploaded here on the Trello group. Okay. So just again, I would like to share the Trello link to all of you. Okay. So now here, you all can quickly open this Trello link. Moreover, this is the data set, which again, I'm going to share with all of you. Okay. So you can use the data. So it is provided to everyone. Now let's see. So guys, here the data set has been provided to all of you, which is the talking data. And now we will be working on this particular data. Now, multiple things can be done. Multiple knowledge can be extracted from the data sets available by knowledge discovery process, where you can have the data, you can perform selection, pre-processing, transformation, mining, interpretation, and evaluation on the data so as to finally get the knowledge. Okay. Now, what next we will be doing? Before we start this, under the Dataiku, there is a project already available for telecom data, and that is to predict the churn users. So churn users is something, the users which are most likely to leave a telecom platform. So all those types of churn users can be actually identified and predicted during the machine learning, using machine learning, using Data Science Studio. So before we proceed further with our own project, first I would like to show you an existing project available in Dataiku. So what you all have to do, first, once you log in, you can actually go to various sample projects which are available over here. Okay. So I'm going to quickly go to a sample project. Now here, under the sample projects, there are multiple projects available. There are 2 projects. One is on Dataiku t-shirts, and one is to clean the contacts available in the phone and the addresses. Second, there are certain use cases based projects available. So here there are a couple of projects. One is the predicting churn, which is relevant to telecom users, as well as second one is also quite relevant, which is prediction of a customer lifetime value depending on the web traffic data and his historical customer purchases. Okay. Energy consumption, predictive maintenance, adapting D3 technologies. You can ignore them as of now, but these 2 projects you can actually use for your understanding initially. Okay, that how particularly data science can be implemented. And these are 2 very nice projects which will be very helpful for you all to understand each and every individual stage of machine learning. Followed by this, we will be having a quick look into that, but we will be designing our own project from scratch. Third, you will have some geospatial projects as well, which is working with the shape files. Okay, so that is also a project available by default. So what I would like to take you, to predicting churn users, which could be an application of telecom industry. Okay, so segmenting telecom customers, understanding the churn, and scoring the new customers. That is the objective of this project. So this means by analysis of the telecom data, It can be identified the churn users which are about to leave the platform or which are inactive on the telecom platform, as well as out of them it can be identified who are the probable new customers which can actually continue with the services and can we can bring in profit and the new customer for the organization. Okay, so now here we will be working towards predicting churn. This will be the first project which you all can quickly explore. So you can quickly click on it and you are going to get a Dataiku churn project created. So you can see that a tutorial has been created successfully for this project, and we'll quickly click on OK. So once we click on OK, you will land up into this particular project, and I'm going to explain you how each and everything works here. Okay. So guys, you can see that here is a project predicting churn. Okay. And that may be the name of the project. Okay. As well as there is certain headlines for the project. This is for user understanding, that if you are a machine learning engineer and if you are working on multiple projects, you should always remember what project you have made, what is the title of the project, and what are some important keywords of the project, so you can manage your projects, machine learning projects, easily in Dataiku. Along with that, there are three important sections. On the flow, there are certain important aspects like the data sets, which is actually used to extract the knowledge, the recipes which you will be applying, or the scripts which you will be applying on the data sets in order to identify various different applications and models. And finally, the models. These models are something like the machine learning algorithms or the mathematical algorithms which are found suitable in order to predict the outcome. Okay. So in our case, in this particular case, the sample case which we are discussing at the moment, it is actually used to predict the churn users. And prediction of the churn users can be easily done with two different algorithms, and we will quickly explore what all algorithms are there. Now, apart from that, in order to build this analysis, you can have your complete notebook. Notebook is something like a Python script or a Python file, which actually contains the complete process of machine learning. And the complete process of the machine learning was the image which I have already shown you, the image of knowledge discovery process and the image of cross industrial standard process for data mining. They are the actual processes which are actually implemented within these notebooks and analysis. Okay. So these are the two things. Apart from that, Dataiku also offers you some presentation tools also. So once you are done with analysis on the data, and now if you have to give a presentation to the stakeholders about the analysis outcomes, then you can easily give the presentations using Dataiku as well. It can help you quickly create the web applications, as well as it can help you create the presentations for the analysis which you have done in the data. Okay. So this is a very useful tool which will be very helpful for all of you in future for implementing machine learning applications and projects, and provided it is one of the easiest tool to make use of. Okay. There are other tools also available which are also used in the corporate. So Dataiku is also very common today, but another which you can use is Pentaho, which is actually used in Reliance Communications, and we will let you know about how you can use Pentaho as well. So now, how do we start understanding the project in a data science studio? So the first and most important part of Dataiku is the flow of your machine learning project. Okay. So what you can do is you can quickly go to flow of machine learning project, and once you come to the flow, you're going to get the complete flow diagram of the project. Okay. So now you can see that we have got some processes available over here. Now what exactly happens in machine learning, that is what we need to understand. Okay. So initially, this is the data which is available to a user by default. Suppose this is the data of the unlabeled customer, a raw data collected, and this could be the customer's data, appropriate customer's data available at a telecom company. Okay. So yesterday I have told you about how collection of the data can be done. After the collection of the data is done, suppose you have got a data set available in a CSV format or in a database table format. There are various formats which are supported. So I'm going to explain you that also. But initially just consider it as a comma separated value file or an Excel file. And within that Excel file, you will have the complete data of the customer. Now, after pre-processing, this is the symbol for pre-processing. So once you are given the data, once you perform pre-processing on it, okay. So using the pre-processing data, what you can do is you can actually get the prepared data set. Okay. Why do we need the prepared data set? So requirement of a prepared data set is because to apply machine learning algos, you need to prepare your data. Okay, and what do you mean by preparation of the data? So there are a couple of things. You have to clean the null values in case if there is anything empty, you have to clean it. Then you have to convert all text values into numbers. Okay, because in machine learning, it's everything is about machine learning algorithm. Okay, so what you have to do, whatever data you will be having, you should have to convert it into numbers so that numbers can be given to machine learning algorithms, and machine learning algorithms can get an output number, and that output number could represent to the output in the data. And I'm going to let you know about it, how you can quickly represent any kind of information as mathematical numbers, and there are certain techniques about it for preparation, and we are going to go through with each and every technique. Now once you have got your data ready for applying machine learning, then what we do, we perform training of the data. So the next symbol in green color which is represented to you is known as training of the data. Okay, training the model, we call it as training the model using the data provided. Okay, so this is training the model using data provided. And after training the model, you are going to get a model. So suppose this particular part is a model, and model is also known as an algorithm. So you can call it as a model or algorithm. Okay, so what we are going to do, let's say we are going to get the input data. You're going to get input data, you're going to pre-process the data. After pre-processing the data, you're going to get the prepared data set. You're going to perform training on that prepared data set. Finally, you will be able to accomplish a model, and you can score the model. Okay, final stage is interpretation and evaluation stage. We also call it as scoring. Okay, you can call it as scoring, as well as we can also call it as evaluation of the model. So evaluation of the model is, let's say, calculation of the accuracy of the model, and we consider that algorithm which has the highest accuracy. Okay, so how you guys are going to create this model for your own project, that I'm going to tell you, but just I'm giving you a quick sample before we proceed further. And now here we have got the output result, where we have got the segmented customers. And the segmented customers is like, what are the customers which are likely to repurchase the product, and what are the customers who are likely to go out of the telecom network. All that information will be available within this data set, in the segmented data set. So segmentation would be something like classification of the data into different categories. Okay, so that you will understand. So once this is done, let's say, we can quickly proceed further. So once you have got this data, further training can be done on this data. Okay, so you can see that after you have got the segmentations, then again we have performed the training on the data. So multiple processes can be applied to the regenerated data. Now here, using a random forest mathematical equation, we have actually created a churn prediction model. And churn, you actually understand, is a customer who is most likely to leave the organization or who is inactive. So here we are trying to identifying the inactive customers who we can call back and quickly retarget them so that they can again come to the telecom network. They can again buy the telecom plans for internet, for making calls and etc. And then more profits can be generated for the company. Finally, predictions can again be done in order to identify the unlabeled churn customers. Okay, so this data set will finally contain those users only which can be probably churn, which can be contacted back so that they can rebuy the product. Okay, now once we are done with this particular analysis, what next you will be able to see? Finally, after prediction of the churn, it can be identified. Again, further training can be done in order to identify the revenue loss of that organization. Okay, so now what is the role of a data analyst? Suppose the telecom data was available. Out of the telecom data, processing has been done. Out of that, churn users have been identified, and out of that, the appropriate loss has been identified. That what is the loss of losing all the specific customers. And these insights are very valuable for the company owners, for the company stakeholders, and it is very important for them to take appropriate decision so that they can improve their sales and marketing processes in order to gain more revenue out of the business. So you can apply these strategies in any business. Okay, so it does not depend only with telecom data. We are just taking one project as a strategy project in order to implement the analysis, but with every business today, data science and machine learning is very important, and which can give actual important insights from the data, which can be actually used by the industry in order to make better decisions and increase the profits and minimize the cost. That is the major objective of every business which is today trying to utilize the facilities and the features of machine learning and AI. As well as they always want to improve the services which they want to offer to the customers. They always want to build new products by identifying the current problems which the customers are facing. So all these things are actually identified and analyzed by data science and machine learning. Okay, now, so I believe till now it is clear to all the participants that what Data Science Studio can provide you. So here is the complete flow of the project, which could be, I guess, pretty understandable to all of you. Okay, so this you can consider as a complete process of extraction of the knowledge. So initially we have the data available, and at the other end side we have the knowledge available of the specific loss. And this complete strategy, step by step, can be applied in order to grab the knowledge. And in order to grab the knowledge, there will be certain stages. So suppose if I say, if I apply KDD process, then what will be done? Under the KDD process, I will be going with selection process. Okay, I'll just specify it over here. Selection, then we will be performing pre-processing, then we will be performing transformation, then we will be performing mining, and finally we will be performing evaluation. Okay, and using this we will be able to grab the knowledge out of the data. Similarly, if you use crisp DM, okay, you will have similar processes, like you will have business understanding, then you will have data understanding. Okay, after data understanding, let's say you will be having modeling, you will be having evaluation and deployment. Okay, and deployment. Similarly, there is a third model which is also used, and that is known as SEMA model, which is also known as sample, explore, modify, model, and assessment. Okay, so these are the same steps which are available in each and every model. Finally, in order to get what knowledge would you like to extract. Okay. So we will be using this Dataiku tool in order to analyze any kind of information and finally reaching out to the appropriate information, that how everything can be done. Okay. Now let's see. So guys, I hope everybody is ready to get started with the analysis. Okay. So how do we do that? Let's have a look. So I'm going to quickly clear all the drawings as of now here. And uh, okay, let's go for it. So till now, just confirm me on chat if this is clear to all the participants. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Those new students who have just gathered in, a very good afternoon. And just confirm me on chat if it is very clear to everyone. Okay, now let's go for creation of the project. Okay, now let's see. So let's go for it. Now we'll quickly explore the talking data which we have just downloaded. Now we will be doing two things. First, we will be working on Dataiku in order to work on a project. And second, we will be working on Google Collaboratory. Okay. So one, I would like to make two representations here. Okay, I'll just quickly. So we have to implement this in two ways. One, we will be implementing our project. Second, we will be implementing our program in Python language as well. Okay, so both ways you will be implementing. Now let's see. Now, so data I have already provided to all of you. And before we proceed, let us just quickly explore the data which is available with us. So I want you all to download this talking mobile users demographics data. Once you guys download it on your machine, you have to extract the data. This data is of approximately 296 MB. I have got this data already downloaded on my machine. So I'll quickly show you that. Now here, I will be having my talking data here. Okay, this is my talking data, mobile graphics data. And within this, I have got certain data sets. So I have application events, application labels, events, gender age training, label categories, phone brand device models, and sample submissions. So we have a couple of data sets available over here. In order to read more information about the data and the information which is available to you, you can also refer to the talking data, mobile data, and file descriptions available over here. Okay. So on this Dataiku, you have each and every information about the talking data which is collected. So I'm going to quickly give you a quick brief. So we will be predicting the demographics of a user like gender and age based on their application download and the usage behaviors. That has to be identified. That is one objective. The data is collected from Talking Data SDK integrated within mobile apps. Talking Data serves under the service term between Talking Data and the mobile app developers. Full recognition and consent from individual user of those applications have been obtained, and appropriate anonymization have been performed to protect the privacy. So since they have actually performed anonymization, which means they have actually transformed the data, due to confidentiality, we won't be able to provide data on how the gender and age data was obtained. So please treat them as accurate ground truth for prediction. So now here you all have to consider one thing. the data which is available here is already transformed into numbers for the privacy purpose. So before processing this data, initially I would like to give you a sample of one data, which is a house price prediction data, which we have already recorded a complete project on our one-to-one account. But I'm going to give you a quick look of that so that you will understand how the raw data looks like, and then finally how that data is transformed into numbers. Because in future, when you will be working on real-time data of different projects, it is always going to be available with you in form of numbers, and data will be 100% anonymized, so that data analyst will always get an anonymized data, so that he won't be able to impact on the actual users by any means. Okay, so this is all you all have to understand. Until and unless you are within an organization, you won't be able to get the appropriate data which is understandable or which is in raw format. Okay, but I'm going to show you certain examples. And in case if you want to understand the data better, then you need to collect your own data, and then you have to perform the analysis. So there are multiple things which has to be understood. Okay, so now I'm going to take one more example of the data set in the data IKU, so that you all will be able to understand how things are working. And once it is clear in your mind, then you can use this telecom data in order to identify the gender and age and predict the demographics depending on the application usage behavior and the application download. So here there are certain file descriptions. Now you can see that what all file descriptions are available. There are certain gender age and gender age test data is available. So this is the target variable you are going to predict. So gender age data which is available, it is the target which we want to predict. So depending on the talking data, what is required, depending on the events, depending on the application usage and the mobile phone brand they are using, we have to actually predict the gender and age of the user. Okay, this is uh, the main problem statement of this particular data. Okay, apart from that, so target variable is also known as the dependent variable. This is very important. I would like to quickly define. So target is something which you actually have to calculate or predict. It is also known as dependent variable, and there is another term which is mostly used, and this is also known as response variable. Okay, so you can call this variable as target variable, dependent variable, or a response variable, which has to be calculated or predicted using the machine learning algorithm. Okay, similarly, there are other events, like in the events, when a user uses talking SDK, the event gets logged in the data. Each event has an event ID, a location. The event corresponds to a list of apps in the app events. So this is the second part of the data. So now you can see the data is distributed into different parts. In the second part of the data, you have certain events information and the location from where that event has been executed. So event is something like, suppose a person is using an application and he clicked on a button, or else he clicked on an advertisement. Wherever he clicked on the device, that actually can be calculated by the web applications or the application users. It can be completely recorded, and that information can also be used in order to log the user events, identify from which specific location what kind of events are occurring, so that appropriate optimization can be provided to the users. As well as then you have the application labels. Okay, application and their labels, which can be used to join with the label categories, which means the name of the application and other important information of the application is available. So application labels and the category to which they belong. So suppose there is an application WeChat which belongs to the telecommunication category. There is another application which may belong to education category. So there will be multiple mobile applications with multiple categories. So we need to understand how these different applications are belong to which specific category. Okay. Apart from that, you will also have the device IDs, brand and models. So you will have different devices for Samsung, K-Touch, Hisense, Lenovo, iPair. All these devices are generally the devices which are available in China. Okay, China market ke devices hain. So all these devices are available whose information will be available in the data set. And finally, there is a sample submission file in the correct format. Okay, so you can actually have a look with the sample submission, in which you will get to know all these fields and the sample target variable. So what we will do, we are going to quickly see the data available in all of these zip files. So now, so let's just quickly go to it. Let us just extract the sample submissions.zip. Okay, so here you can see that I have got a dataset file here, which is the sample submission.csv, which is going to be the final submission, which is relevant to that competition. Okay, now, so before we go to this, let me just quickly open sample submission.csv for you, so that you will understand what is available in this data set. So you all can open this along with me, the sample submission.csv file, and somewhat like this information is available to you here. Okay. So now you can see that there is a sample submission where we have the device IDs, and we have certain column information like F23, then from field 24 to 26, field 27 to 28. Okay, all these are specific numbers, and it is very difficult for us to understand what exactly these are, and these values are converted into numbers in order to perform the anonymization of the data, so that nobody, even the data scientist, shouldn't be able to get to know the exact information of a consumer or a customer. Okay, so always you have to consider this thing in mind. Once you become a mediocre, intermediate, or an expert data scientist or a machine learning engineer, what you will be provided with, you will always be provided with the data which is already anonymized, and you have to perform analysis on it and extract the important insights. Okay, so how will you be able to do it? You will get to know as soon as you progressively work on different machine learning projects. But just to give you a quick idea about what could be a response variable and what could be the target variables and what are independent variables, how we perform analysis, for that I have a sample data set for you, which I'm going to explain initially, and then we will land up to this particular data set for analysis. Okay, just to give you a quick more information, I would like to extract one more phone brand file also, which is phone branded device model.csv. Let us just open it also, and let us just quickly see what it contains. So this file contains, okay, here are the device models. So in the previous file, you have seen the device IDs. Now device ID for a specific device model is available within this file. So you have the set of devices and you have the specific device IDs. So that means you have to concatenate all these different files into one data frame in order to perform the analysis. So I will tell you how that can be done. So it would be better, what we can do is, let us just quickly see all these files, whatever is available. Okay, so that it will be easy for us to perform the processing. But before we start using this data set, I'm going to explain you the response variables and all the important variables step by step with a house price data set, so that it will be easy for you all to understand the significance of the variables and how the project is created. Then we will come to this point. Okay, but just I would like to quickly open all these CSV files just to show you all what it contains, and I recommend you all to open it as well. Okay, so the file is opening. So let the file opens up, and by the time I'll quickly check in case if there is any queries on the YouTube channel. Okay, so here, okay, there's a message. Dear participant, it is compulsory to attend all the sessions. We are monitoring the attendance on YouTube live session and it is verified every day by Google Form attendance. Okay, so everybody, you all have to attend the sessions. Kindly inform all your friends also, those who are not attending the sessions at the moment, because in order to grab the certificates, there will be an evaluation test which will be conducted, and there should be a minimum score of 70% to pass the score. Okay, so once you guys will be able to pass that evaluation test, only then it will be, the certificates will be credited to you. So make sure you all attend, and it is very sure if any single user, if he has not gone through with these sessions, he won't be able to pass the evaluation test, and I can give you a guarantee on that, because the evaluation test is going to be from the videos itself, and each every a script and whatever terms I have spoken in this sessions, and similar sessions like the yesterday sessions, I have specified a lot of commands and different stuff. All those things will be asked in the questions. Okay, so make sure you all inform all your friends also, because I have got approximately 300 registrations on my site, 250 registrations till now. So all of the participants have to watch it. Only then it is guaranteed that you will be able to clear out the evaluations, because the questions are not available on Google. They will be custom made questions only for this specific session, and the passing percentage will also be very high, which means it's going to be 70%, and only then it will be useful for all the participants. Okay, so kindly inform your friends also. Now let us just quickly continue back. Now here, what we will be having here, so all the data sets have been extracted over here. Now I have got one app events.csv file. Okay, so it's still getting downloaded. Let me just do one thing. So I think that's a pretty big file, but by the time it opens up, okay, so what we'll do, let me just let these files get processed, and by the time I'm sharing you one more data set, which we will be using just to have a quick introduction on this, what we say, our data IKU platform. Okay, and using that data IKU platform, first you will understand various variables, response variables, and other stuff, and then we will be able to proceed further. Now, the data set which I'm saying is available over here. Here is the housing data set, which we will be referring just to make you understand about how the data and the response variables look like in a raw data set and how they have to be transformed into numbers. So you all have to download this data set, housing modified.csv. Okay. So please download the data set provided to all of you. Once you are done with the download, please confirm me on chat that yes, you all have downloaded. Okay, now, so what we will be doing now, once you have got this download, let me just quickly show you how the file looks like. Okay, so here there will be a CSV file which will look somewhat like this. Okay, and what I'll do is, let me just download it on my desktop so that I can quickly show you that in an Excel file. That would look much better. Okay, once you guys are done with the download, just confirm me. Okay, let me just quickly download that on Windows. Okay, so here I've got this housing modified.csv downloaded, and it looks somewhat like this. Okay, here. So now you can see under this data which is available to you, this data set is a house price data set. Okay, and it has some couple of features like price, lot size, bedrooms, bathrooms, gas, hot water. And let me just quickly explain you what all these features are so that you will be able to understand. And then I'm going to show you a quick processing on Dataiku. Then we will proceed to our telecom data. Okay, now let's see. So under the downloads, I have got this file housing modified.csv. Let me just open that for you. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, I think there is some issue in my numbers application, but I'll just quickly show you here. Now here, if you all can see, there are a couple of features available over here. So the selected variables, which you all can see here, we have price, we have lot size, which means area of the house. Then we have number of bedrooms in the house. Then we have number of bathrooms in a house. The stories or the number of floors in a house. So consider if you stay in a city, let's say Bhopal. So in Bhopal, let's say there is a house which is of 42,000 US dollars, and that particular house has 5,850 square feet of area. That house has 3 bedrooms in it. That house has 1 bathroom in it. It may be a double story house, which you can say, let's say it could be a duplex house. Okay, followed by okay, just I need to quit that. Now it has stories, which could be 2-story. Then you have a driveway, which means do you have a driveway in the home or driveway to the house, as well as is there a recreational room like a drawing room. So it says no, it does not have a recreational room. Then the next question is, does it has full basement, which means your house, does it has the basement or not? So it says no, it does not have a basement. Does it yes, it has a basement. Does it has gas hot water fitting in the house? So it says no, there is no gas hot water fitting in the house. Followed by, does it has air conditioning in the house? So it says no, there is no air conditioning in the house. As well as how many garage places for parking the car is available. So it says yes, there is one garage places available, and is that house in the preferred area of Bhopal city? So suppose, let's say if you have an area known as MP Nagar, I guess. So if that house is in MP Nagar, it could be more valuable. So it asks like, does your house is in the preferred area of the city or not? So it says no, it is not in the preferred area of the city. So similarly, for approximately 500 houses, this information has been collected. So suppose in a Bhopal city, there could be around a survey has been conducted, and in that survey, approximately 546 house information has been collected and a database has been created. Okay. So is that clear, everyone, till here, that how a raw data looks like? So a raw data is something which will provide you information of the basic facts or the existence of the information. Now what we are going to do, we are going to use this information with Dataiku now. Okay, so just confirm me on chat if you all are clear with house price data set. Now using this house price data set, what we will be doing, we are going to perform the analysis. Okay, so there are two things which you all have to understand. There is a output, when we perform data analysis, okay, there are two things to consider. One, you have the input variables. Second, you have an output variable. Okay. So data science is a fact which you have to understand. Or instead of input and output variables, I will quickly show you something like, let's say when it comes to a basic computing system, what is the effect of data science and what is the utility of data science? That is what you're going to understand. So let's say we have a building block somewhat like this. So under the building block, let's say we have given some n number of inputs. Okay. So I'm going to mark here. Let's say I have given certain 4 inputs, and finally out of the inputs provided, we are going to get the output. So we can quickly consider these as inputs. Okay. And finally, we are going to get the output out of the system. And in general computing, what we do, we define the logic. Okay. Here, it's going to be your processing logic. Now with data science and machine learning, what can be done? Given the input variables and given the output variables, machine learning algorithm does not need to define the logic. It can actually predict the logic, which could be best in order to calculate that output. Okay. So what machine learning can do, machine learning is capable of, or not machine learning, actually the data science and the analysis and this complete process is actually capable of predicting what is the logic if the inputs and outputs are already given to the system. Okay. So this is what we are doing in data science and machine learning. So given the house price data set, we have got two information. What information we have got? We have got an information about certain variables, like let's say the lot size information, okay, the information of the bedrooms, the information of the bathrooms, and etc. There are various inputs provided. You can consider these inputs here. Okay. Suppose, okay, I'll just do one thing, just keep it here. So suppose you have certain couple of inputs, and at the output, let's say you have to calculate the price of the house. Okay. So what is given to us? All this information is given to us. The lot size, bedrooms, bathrooms information is given to us. The price of the houses is given to us. Now, depending on that, we have to actually calculate the equation which can actually help us predict the price if the lot size, bedrooms, bathrooms, and other relevant information is available for a new house, which is not available in the data set. So suppose in the data set, we have only 546 houses, but these 546 houses belong to various locations in Bhopal. And out of this 546 houses, if you want to make a application which can predict the nearby price or an accurate price for all of the houses in the Bhopal city, then what you can do is you can make use of data analysis and machine learning concept in order to calculate or predict an equation which can actually fit in calculation of price with respect to the given inputs. So this is what data analysis is capable of. Okay. Now, how do we do that? Let us just quickly look. So what we are going to do, we are going to quickly create a new project. Let's come here. We are going to create a new project. Let's create a blank project. This blank project, let's say I'm going to call it as Devanshu Shukla, DS house price product. Okay. Let's say I'm going to name it as Devanshu Shukla underscore house price project. So you can give it a name for your project. Once you give it a name, you're going to click on create, and finally you're going to get a project dashboard like this. So initially you can see in the flow we have 0 data sets, 0 recipes, and 0 models. Okay, so we need to have the first important thing, which is that data set which is required for analysis. Okay, is that clear to everyone? Now within this import data set, what we will be using our house price data set initially to understand what is the response variable, what is the uh, input variables and the independent variables, and using this variable information we are actually going to build a machine learning model which can help us predict the price or else the other stuff. Okay, then we will use the similar technology to predict the talking data part, where we will be predicting the gender and the age group information of the users depending on their mobile usage patterns and the application usage patterns. So that is going to be our main project. And this project I'm just using just to make you all understand about how things work. In case if you want to have a complete understanding of how this project is implemented, we have already made this project, and the complete scripts integrated with the website deployed on Amazon Web Services is already we have uploaded in your one-to-one accounts. So after the session, you all can quickly go to your one-to-one account. Under the course Data Science and Machine Learning, we already have this complete project recorded along with a beautiful website. Okay, so right from data analysis, processing, comparison of models, evaluation, and deploying into a website, publishing it on AWS and hosting it live. So in the complete 8 sessions, you can actually build up the house price prediction project also. But for now, with respect to our current case, I'm just using this as a reference so that you will be able to understand different variables and other stuff, and then we can proceed to the telecom analysis. Now, so first thing which we will be doing is we are going to import our data set. Let's click on import the data set. So there, Dataiku offers various options with which you can import the data set. You can directly upload your files, as well as you can integrate with Hadoop, that is available for paid or subscription based users of Dataiku. You can directly connect with SQL databases, which includes MySQL, PostgreSQL, and all other like Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server. These are all the databases available with which you can connect your Dataiku from the existing database to perform analysis. As well as in case if your application is storing your data either on Amazon or else like a file system on a cloud storage or on a website, so you can directly connect with AWS S3, Azure Blob Storage, File Transfer Protocol, SFTP, and all that. Okay, so all these options are available. As well as they have option to plug in the Twitter data also. So Twitter live tweets and posts can also be integrated directly with Dataiku, so that you can perform sentiment analysis or different kinds of projects on Twitter also. Then there are certain managed data sets and folders available with the Data Science Studio itself. You can import an existing connection to a database, and that also can be connected. As well as there are more data set plugins and options available which you can use. But here, for now, what we will be doing, we will be actually using, let's say, the HTTP connection. So in my current case, I will be using a direct HTTP connection to get my file, or else in case if you have a file available on your system, so you can use this option also, upload your files. So both of these can be used. This HTTP could be a direct link you can provide of the data set, and you can read it in Dataiku, as well as if you have the data set created in your own machine, you can upload it using upload your files option. Okay, now let's see. So we are going to proceed with this option. Let's say I'm going to import the HTTP information. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, here. So let's say now what we are going to do, we are going to define the new dataset name. Let's say I'm going to call it as housing dataset. Okay, but it says you don't have a schema yet, so we need to download one data first. So let's just quickly do that. Go to your Trello, just copy this housing modified.csv. Again, I'm sharing that with all of you. Okay, just copy the data set and go to your data IKU. Under the HTTPS, simply specify the URL. You can also define multiple URLs and you can specify each URL line by line so that multiple URLs can be uploaded. Once you're done with that, you can quickly click on test so that this data can be available on Dataiku for analysis. So once you click on test, you can see that a process has initiated, and once the process has been initiated, you are going to get your files here. So now you can see that the data set has been identified and it says the format is CSV and there are 12 columns in the data set. And the name of the file is automatically identified here also. Okay. In case if you want to modify that, you have this option that you can modify this data set. But in case if you want to use the same, so let's say I'm going to call it as housing data set. Okay, this is going to be my initial data set, housing data set. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on create. Now, once I click on create, a housing data set will be generated. So now you have to understand this process that we have collected the data, let's say from a survey. After the survey, we have got the data. Now we are using this data for analysis purpose. So we are going to quickly click on create. And once I click on create, I'm going to get my data set loaded. So you can see now we have got the housing data set sample loaded. We have got 546 rows and 12 columns here. And we have got certain information like price, lot size, bedrooms, bathrooms, stories, driveway, recreational room, full basement, gas, hot water, air conditioning, garage places, and preferred area. So all these 12 variables are available here. Now we have to work out on these variables. So first we have a price variable and second we have certain other variables. Okay. Now what we are going to do, using these are known as independent variables. Okay. And this one will be known as dependent variable. Okay. So dependent means your output or your variable dependent. A variable is called a dependent variable, which can be predicted by using independent variables. Okay. So what you can do is, using the information of lot size, bedrooms, bathroom stories, and other features, you can actually map it with the price and you can actually calculate or predict the price. That option is possible. Okay, so how will we be able to do that? That is what we have to learn. Similarly, as of now, you can see the data which is also available is of multiple format. We have decimals, we have integers. Okay, you have the text-based information available in the data set also. You do have Boolean type of data available also. So what you can see is a data set can actually have multiple data types, and you have to perform analysis on different types of data types available in your data set. Okay, I believe this is clear to all the participants. So we have the independent variables, and you can also call them as the input variables. So I'm going to define a statement here. Let's say in data analysis, independent variables are used to predict dependent variables. Okay, are used to build models and predict dependent variables. Build models using existing data and predict dependent variables for future data. Okay, so this is something which we have to perform. So depending on the data set, we have quickly read the data set. And how many of you all have got this data set read? Just confirm me on chat so that we can proceed further. Okay, so please confirm on chat how many of you have got this data set read. So once you guys are done with reading the data set in Dataiku, please confirm me on chat so that we can proceed further. Okay, so I've got a couple of responses and all are boys. Oh my God, where are the girls? None of the girl has done it yet. Oh my God, the boys are so fast. Okay, so there is one girl, Neetu Thakur, who has done it till here. Okay, great. So in case if there is any problems while executing the code or anything like that, you can text me on YouTube chat. It will be easy for me. I can quickly understand what could be the probable problem and I can let you know the answer. That is possible. Okay, so let's continue further from here. Now, once you guys are done with reading the data here, the house data set, now what you need to do? You all have to quickly go to the flow. So at the very top, there is an option here. It looks like a reverse share option. And within this reverse share option, this is actually an icon for the flow diagram. And using this, we will go to the flow. There's also a shortcut G plus F, which you can use in order to go to the flow. And flow is the actual, you can consider flow as, you can actually consider flow as your major flow diagram for this analysis. Okay. Now let's see. So here you have got your housing data set read, and on the left hand side, we have started building the housing data set, which is going to be the input data set over which we are going to apply the algorithms. On the right hand side, there are certain automatic processes which can be applied on these data sets in order to perform the analysis automatically. But before you use this automation, I would really recommend you all to understand the programming part also, because until and unless you understand the programming part clearly, it will be very difficult for you to use the automated part. Okay, so automated part is for those people, those who have already done it via programming, because it makes their life easy in order to build that application. Okay, now, so what we are going to do now, Let's have a look. So let us just read this data set programmatically also. So you are done with reading the data in the flow and you have got the data ready for processing. Similarly, you can read that in Python. Okay. So in order to get started with Python, I recommend you all to quickly open collab.research.google.com. Okay. You all have to open collab.research.google.com. Okay. Now here, under, once you all open collab.research.google.com, now what we need to do, here we have to create a new script. Okay. So the steps which we have done in the user interface, we can do it here in a very easy steps in Python programming also. So we are going to implement it both ways, the code wise as well as the user interface wise. Okay. Now what we can do, here you have to get started with creation of a new notebook. So notebook is nothing but just like creating a new file in Python Jupyter. Okay. These scripts will always be stored on your Google Drive. So it will be always easy for you to handle, to have your scripts available everywhere, wherever you are going. So it's always a great idea to work out on Google Collaboratory. Now you can quickly click here and go to new notebook. Okay. And once your notebook loads up, you're going to get an IPYNB file. So IPYNB file actually stands for Interactive Python Notebook, which runs on Jupyter. Interactive Python Notebook. Okay. And generally we use this file in order to perform our analysis using Python. Similarly, once you are connected on Jupyter, let us just give a quick name for this and let's call it as our house project, let's say. Okay. So I have just renamed it to house project.ipynb, house project.ipynb, and you have to connect to Google Cloud virtual machine at the backend so that all your commands can be actually executed on a Google Cloud engine, which is a Google Cloud Linux based machine. So from your browser, from your Jupyter notebook, there will be a connection made with a virtual machine at the server side, and whatever queries you will be executing from here, from your browser, all these requests will go to Google Cloud and it will be executed on the Google virtual machine available at the server. Now here, once you have got this, now what we have to do first is data collection, or data collection, which means we are going to read the data. Okay. So reading the data, we are going to use a library. So in Python, you can import and use pandas library. So there is a library known as pandas, which is actually used to perform data handling in Python. Okay. Data handling means whenever you have to read a file, you have to write a file, you have to read different formats of file, we use a library pandas in Python. And in order to use the library, we have quickly created an object of pandas library, and name of the object is PD. Okay. So we have imported a pandas library and we have created an object known as PD for it. And we are going to read the file. Okay. So suppose we have a CSV file. So using pandas, we can actually use read CSV. There are different types of formats available in pandas, and if you want to see that, we can quickly see it. So I have open import pandas as PD, and then I have clicked on run here, run the cell. There's a shortcut. You can use Control Enter in order to run this cell also. Once you run this cell, Python pandas will be imported, and I'm going to show you some functions of pandas. So there are various functions like you can read a PDF, you can read a HTML document, you can read a CSV file, and many more. But currently in this case, initially we will be reading a CSV file, and once we are done with that, then we will proceed to the next step. So initially I would like to show you that 546 rows and 12 columns from the data, and which we have read from the CSV file. Okay, so once it gets executed, we are going to get pandas loaded and we are going to run the cell. For faster processing, there is also a great option. You can actually change the runtime type, and you can also use hardware accelerator as graphical processing unit, GPU, which can actually enable the speed of execution of the steps. Okay, so in case if your Jupyter notebook is running slow, you can make use of a hardware accelerator and you can select the GPU option, and this can improve the speed. So once we have connected it, once we have selected it, it is going to quickly connect again. And this time it will make use of GPU facilities also. GPU stands for graphical processing units, which can help you run your data science code faster. Okay. So once we got this, now I'm going to run it using the GPU. And now you can see this time the pandas has been quickly imported. Now using the object, I'm going to quickly show you what are the different types of options which can be available. So using PD, if we make use of the dot here, you can see that there will be various help options available, and these are the help options. So you can read the data from clipboard, you can read the CSV, you can read the Excel file, you can read Feather, FWF, GBQ, HDF, HTML, JSON, ORC, and there are so many options available which you can actually read using Pandas library. So SAS you can read, you can directly read from an SQL table also. So there are so many SQL tables which I have already defined with the Dataiku. All that thing you can programmatically do here in Python notebook also. Okay, so we will be using read CSV option, and in case if you would like to take a help in Jupyter notebook, you are going to get a quick help that you can make use of a read CSV. You just need to provide the name of the file. Okay, and by default the separator will be a comma separator. So if the data is separated with comma, it will automatically be read as a CSV file, as a comma separated file. And there are other parameters also which I have already explained in my recorded videos on one-to-one, so you can quickly refer them, and you will get to know complete details about it. Okay, now here, so once we are done with that, let us just continue with the process. So under the read CSV file, I'm going to paste my data set. Okay, and the data set is this: hackweather.in systech housing modified.csv. Okay, so let's go for it, and I would like to use that path here. Okay, so we are going to define this URL and we are going to save that into data. That's it. Okay, so once we are done with that, we are going to print the output which is available in the data in Python. So once we run Control Enter, you can see that you are going to get the files read appropriately in Python. So just confirm me on chat. So in this way, you are capable of reading your data both in Dataiku as well as in Python. Okay, so it's very simple. Just you need to import the pandas library and create its object. Using the pandas object, we have called a function read CSV. Using this function, we have to provide a parameter, which is the file path. So we have provided the file path directly from the URL. So this URL will be read, data in a comma separated value will be read, and finally it will be stored into the data variable. And finally, I have printed the contents of the data variable. So now you can see that we have got all these features like price, lot size, bedrooms, bathrooms, stories, and everything for the number of columns. And we have got, it has 546 rows and 12 columns. Okay. So I believe it is clear to all the participants. Okay. So this is how you can actually read the data quickly. So now everybody is ready with the data part. So in the data IKU as well as in Python, we have got both of the data in both the platforms and interfaces. We have got the data ready. Now we can do a lot of operations in this by quickly checking the number of columns and extracting a lot of information, implementing our data IKU benchmark. Okay, so all that can be easily done, and I'm going to tell you that how you can do that step by step. Okay, so please confirm me on chat if you all are clear till here. Okay, great. So for today, I believe now today you all are clear with reading the data sets appropriately, and you all have complete understanding of what we are trying to do. So we are trying to implement data analysis. For data analysis, our major objective is to process the telecom data, but since the telecom data is anonymized at the moment, I would like to take house data set in order to quickly explain you how the raw data looks and how it is transformed into numbers and how analysis can be done. Once quickly you are done with this, then we will switch back to the telecom data set and we are going to process that information. Okay, processing both of the projects is very easy in data IKU, and I have already shown you a complete flow of the machine learning project, that how each and every stage would be implemented in a flow diagram with respect to the churn project. So from now onwards, we will be working out on analysis of the project, where first we will be implementing a basic house analysis tomorrow, followed by the telecom analysis. Okay, so that we will continue in tomorrow's session. So one more thing I'm doing in, I'm sharing the script of my script to all of the participants. You all can keep it with you. And tomorrow we will be starting okay. So here I'm sharing a link to the script, which tomorrow we will be coding in step by step, and you all will have access to these scripts. And I am sharing the mentor script here in the Trello card also, mentor script. So it will be easy for everyone to follow in continuation. So one more thing, I would like to recommend you all. So kindly inform all your friends to have a look. Those who have not attended the previous sessions or today's session, just confirm them to attend today's session at least. Get a quick understanding of what data IKUs. Read the information about the data sets which we are taking in. Okay, in data IKU as well as in Python notebook. And from tomorrow, it is compulsory that everybody should attend the session, because only then they will be able to implement it step by step. If they are having any queries, they can quickly ask us, as well as they will be able to clear the evaluations only then, once they will be able to implement all these things practically. Okay, so please pass the information to all your friends. Moreover, today's session is completed. Next, tomorrow we will be starting with our projects on house and followed by the telecom. So I believe if it's clear, I hope everybody has done it practically. In case if there is any doubts or anything, you can post it on the chat. Moreover, I believe you all have liked the session. So just hit the likes if you have liked the session today and you have get started with data science practically. Moreover, feel free to post your questions here on the chat as well. In case if anybody is finding any trouble in setting up the data IKU or any problems in Google Collaboratory, just let us know. And it's very easy process. Just you have to go to the data IKU registration, as well as you have to go to the registration for collab.google.com, where you can actually quickly get that, what we say, you can quickly get access to your script. Depending on, you do need to have a Google account, that's it. And once you are logged in with your Google account, you can have access to the Python script, and you can start creating your scripts and share the scripts. Okay, so from tomorrow we'll continue from here. the faculty members who are connected with us here. In case if you want to share any information with the participants, please you can share with the participants. They are listening to you. If anybody has to share any information to the participants, you all can come live. You can turn your cams on and you can speak to them. Otherwise, if it's done, just let me know so that I can wind up the session and I can close it.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Please.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for today's session. और बहुत अच्छा रहा सर, मतलब बहुत सारी चीजें आज बच्चों ने सीखी और everything was okay and it's wonderful for all of us. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so have a great day, everyone. Let's catch up tomorrow at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and we will quickly get started with the further processing of our projects on data science and analysis. Have a great day.